And my little outline.
I'll go over. Okay, yeah. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I'm really excited for my guest tonight. Tonight we're going to be going deep into the healing of we're going to be getting into the memory of James Rink. We're going to be getting into the Montauk project, time travel missions, the legacy of James Rink. Joining us are members of his Healing Soul Survivors group, a group connected to James Rink's work, including individuals who have involvement in the Montauk project at Camp Hero, ongoing space missions, healing, and space program 20 and back operations. I'll read the first. The first person is the president of is Healing Soul Survivors, Catherine Elizabeth Pesliari says she's a divine being of light, owning divine feminine half of the original soul of Archangel Uriel. Her higher self soul is the Archangel Uriel. Archangel Uriel Ariel is known as the Archangel of Knowledge and Wisdom, who holds the torch of flame of God. And Archangel Uriel is also known as the Archangel Phanuel, which also means the face of God. Archangel Uriel is known as the Greek god Poseidon. She's a super soldier in the secret space program. Her call sign is Sunshine. And then I'll skip over the child stuff. You can tell us about that. Catherine is part of the Montauk Project, the Project Rainbow. She's also been a part of the Philadelphia experiment. She was a member of the 2023 Montauk team assembled by James Rink to perform missions at Camp Hero. Catherine opened up the space-time portal 2 times in 2023 trip, once on a boat and once on land, in order to go onto the ship to assemble the men who were fused to the USS Eldridge. The USS Eldridge was caught in interstitial space-time. When Catherine was on the boat, there was a squad on land concurrently working on the portal energies, and they released souls of the Montauk boys who were also caught in interstitial space-time. Andrew Statsky, the Secretary Treasurer of the Healing Soul Survivors, was on the boat with Catherine and also on land with Catherine for these events. He provided her with large white cenilene spear for the rituals, enhancing her abilities. The ball is now fused with sacred knowledge. And this is Catherine's third incarnation on Earth. She was previously incarnated 100 years as an Egyptian god, Amun-Ra. She incarnated years 1500s as the Queen Elizabeth I. Her soul has always been the divine soul. This time, the main soul, the Archangel Uriel, is in male form, and his call sign is Joker. Like on most visuals in the Black Projects, movie characters have been created to portray her, often Hollywood involving truth. The characters include, but not limited to, Harley Quinn, the Queen Elizabeth Mary I of Scots, portrayed by Margaret Robbie, Barbie in the Barbie movie, Ariel in the animated film Little Mermaid, Captain Catherine in Star Trek Voyager, and Lord Vandermont in the Harry Potter series. In this lifetime, Catherine began. Okay, I'm going to skip over some of the childhood stuff because this is a lot.
Right.
It, and this is an interesting. Catherine met her husband Anthony Siz in 2006 and married him in 2007. Anthony's call sign was Wolverine. Anthony told Catherine he was a super soldier for the government and he was put in the super soldier program by his father. He told her that his blood tested as a baby and there was 86% chance of survival, cut off at 83% chance of survival. Anthony also told her that his father, Robert Sis, was also narcissistic, that he felt the risk was worth it, that his genes inside his son would survive. Anthony said that as a result of the injection he received at 7 years of age, he went through what was called a sickness, and the later result of the injection was his bones 3 times larger than a normal human. A normal human, and his skin 3 times thicker than a normal human, and his IQ was enhanced. Catherine was uncertain what to believe, and with no disclosure from him and his family or friends confirming the stories she told, she placed him in treatment with psychiatrists, psychologists, and neuropsychologists. Catherine ultimately divorced Anthony in 2020, and he unalived himself by, I won't go into the details because I don't want to get the video taken off YouTube. Catherine sought out James Rink after Anthony died, and she's been on a journey of self-discovery since that time, recovering her own memories of the past lives, missions, bloodlines, and entitlement. The Crown of England is the Goldsmith bloodline. Wow, that's amazing. And thank you, Catherine, for coming on. We also have Andrew Chaskey and Kimberly Usana with us. I'm going to read their bios now, too. Andrew Chaskey is a member of the 2023 Montauk mission assembled by James Rink and currently serves as the Secretary and Treasury of the Healing Soul Survivors, a nonprofit organization focused on supporting individuals with experiences related to covert programs and spiritual awakening. He describes having undergone a personal awakening in 2020, is now on a path as an aspiring healer. He has no direct conscious memory of past program involvement. He has received intuitive readings suggesting participation in secret space programs, and he describes having undergone personal awakening in 2020 is now on a path. Oh, I already read that. He has received intuitive readings suggesting participated in secret space programs, including a 20 and back. Andrew was present at the Montauk mission events involving attempts to access interstitial space-time connected to the USS Eldridge experiment. And we also have with us Kimberly Lusana, who I've heard a lot about. Kimberly Lusana is a member of the Healing Soul Survivors community, a network founded by James Rink dedicated to supporting individuals with experiences through covert programs. She is aligned with the group's mission, recovery, integration, and empowerment for those exploring memories or connections to advanced programs and multidimensional experiences. Kimberly brings a perspective grounded in healing, awareness, and ongoing process of awakening. Her work focuses on personal transformation, spiritual growth, and contributing to a broader understanding of the consciousness of human potential. And with all that said, I'd like to give them all a big warm welcome back to the show for the first time. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming on. How is everybody?
Doing good.
Yeah. So Catherine, I know you had an outline, which I'm going to look up now. What did you want to start with tonight? Like,
I'd like to do, let me start with first discussing Healing Soul Survivors, Inc. My last name is Ches. That's pronounced Ches like Sanchez without the San. Healing Soul Survivors, Inc. is a corporation, and I want to talk a little bit about that so that everybody out there in the world understands that James formed a corporation. And he went out of his way to make sure that he didn't just have his own personal media out there or his own persona, his own personal property. He went to the lengths of founding Healing Soul Survivors. And if you listen to any of the videos that he does, he clearly says, I founded this corporation. That means he was the one who was the first person to draw up the documents. He was the first person to form this corporation. And he did that in October of 2016 in North Carolina. And then that corporation was converted into a Florida corporation. We currently have that corporation headquartered in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Also, he formed it as a 501c3, and that's no easy feat to do. What that is that status means that it's a nonprofit corporation, and that the proceeds go to funding the retreats, the conferences, the video production of Super Soldier Talk, and any other events that help heal the survivors of secret space programs and the Black Projects. This also goes for funding of events to educate the public and these previous space programs. So James was a very, very intelligent man, and he went out of his way to make sure that he had a legacy, that he had a corporation, that he was the president of that, so that if and when he died, that it would be able to go on. And then another duly elected president would be able to go on, and he had board members. You also have to have a certain amount of board members in order to keep your 501c3 status. And it was meant to be perpetual. So that's something that I wanted to stress, because there, was a little bit of friction after he died with certain people. And I just wanted to make sure that the public understood that James wanted his legacy to continue, and that's why he originally had this as a corporation. I also wanted to address something that came up in Chat GPT that I saw. It said that there was no organizational structure. So I just wanted to inform the public, and also so that now it'll be out there on the internet, that I've been the duly elected president since December of 2025. Also, Kimberly Lusana is the duly elected vice president, and Andrew Chatsky is the duly elected secretary and treasurer of the corporation. I wanted to talk a little bit about our media assets. And Andrew and Kimberly will discuss those more in depth, but I'm going to go through that just really quickly. We have YouTube Super Soldier Talk. That's the original that James founded, which is part of the corporate property. And we have had a little bit of difficulty getting control of that, but we were able to preserve all of the videos and we were able to get the data. We're still working on that. But we're working on that and we're waiting for Mr. Rink and the Rink family to open up a probate case. So we haven't been talking publicly because we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. We've had weekly meetings. The whole board has put in a lot of work and their own money and time into this endeavor. There's also Rumble Super Soldier Talk. We've also contacted them. Rumble went, we gave Rumble much documentation, including we had to get James's death certificate. And we had to give them some corporate minutes, but they're still wanting a court order. So again, we're still waiting for the Rink family to open up that probate case, which Mr. Rink has graciously contacted me and stated that he's going to do that in the near future. So once we get that together, we do expect to get the older media, the Facebook pages. We have the Super Soldier Talk live stream that we were able to get control of that page. One of the old administrators had formed a different page, which we need to shut down. And there's also a page that is from the 2025 conference, our Super Soldier Activation Conference, that should be shut down. And I do also want to make it very clear, abundantly clear, that when the Super Soldier, the 2025 Super Soldier Conference, Activation Conference ended in October, that all of the volunteer employments ceased at that time. That there are no more volunteers. We in no way are responsible for anybody who did volunteer at that time, and nobody should be talking on behalf of the corporation or James as part of Super Soldier Talk or Healing Soul Survivors or the Activation Conference, because that's our property. And we closed it down then, and that Facebook page is not authorized by the corporation. And we requested it to be shut down, and it's just going with somebody's own personal posting. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about are our websites, and that is something that we have 3 websites. That's healingsoulsurvivors.org. We have supersoldiertalk.com, and there's one more. But what's the other one, Kimberly?
Supersoldiercon.com.
Supersoldiercon.com, right.
SuperSoldierCon.
Correct. That's the one we used for the 2025 conference. Both Kimberly and Andrew are our techie people. They're going to talk about that more in depth. Also, we have a Telegram group, and Kimberly is in charge of that. She's the head of that, and she's going to discuss those departments. We also have video that we own of 2 conferences. We've been in touch with Doug and Gina, and we're still waiting to hear back from them to see if we can get access to that video. Also, I formed, in order to talk to us, if anybody wants to reach out, I formed healingsoulsurvivorsinc@gmail.com. It's a personal email, but we're going to convert that to the business account so that we also may open an email on supersoldiertalk.com So you can look out for that. But anybody who needs to contact us right now, that's Healing Soul Survivors Inc. at gmail.com. So talking a little bit about James's legacy and before his death, I was able to spend 2.5 years with James, and we went to conferences and events together, and we always shared time together, and he took me to some beautiful botanical gardens. Especially we got to share that in his final months. But we did have, after he passed, we did have some delays that affected the corporation. And that is why we've had some time between his death and present time to talk about these things. And because we've had some difficulties with the media, I formed Super Soldier Talk 2. So it's now a YouTube channel, and that's what we want to promote is Super Soldier Talk 2. But I also want the world to know that that is corporate property. Even though it had my name on it, and I'm the person who had to form that on YouTube, that is owned by Healing Soul Survivors. At no time should anybody ever assert that my family, or should my family ever assert that they have any rights to Super Soldier Talk 2. And the next, if I step down or if I pass away, that goes to the corporation, and it should immediately be taken over by the next duly elected president. So I want to make sure that I have that on film. We are taking steps to make sure that the proper paperwork is with Google and with Rumble, so that we don't enter into any problems of not having the media immediately change hands in the event that another officer dies or steps down. We think this is really kind of like a learning experience that we've had because of these hurdles that we've had to come over. But we're looking at it as a learning experience, and we're trying to basically just move forward with everything and be able to get James's legacy continuing, which is making videos and letting people talk about their experiences, putting super soldiers out there. And one of the other things is because we don't have a plethora of time to do these interviews ourselves, we're going to allow any super soldier who would like to do an interview that they can contact us at the email address I stated, and tell us that they'd like to interview somebody and tell us what the content is about. And there's a very good chance that we're going to let you do an interview and be the interviewer. We're going to have guest interviewers. So we won't just have guests to interview. We're not now going to have guest interviewers, because I can't fill James's shoes. He had very big shoes. And Andrew is going to do quite a few interviews, I believe. And we're going to attempt to make content, but we want everyone to participate. And that was James's mission, really. He was a great soul. He gave his heart and soul into Super Soldier Talk. And the three of us want to make sure that that legacy continues, and we're using our best efforts to make sure that it does, and to keep everybody still talking and going, and keep the events going. We'd like to do some different events in the future. We had talked about, before James's passing, he had talked about doing a dolphin retreat, and that's something we discussed. And if we are able to make Super Soldier Talk 2 monetized, which is our goal, then we'll be able to use some of those funds to do something like that. And I'd like to do parties and picnics and social get-togethers, maybe some retreats in nature, some things of that sort, some more relaxed get-togethers of the super soldiers and the people in the community for healing. So these are some of the things that we've discussed in our meetings and that we hope to accomplish in the future.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me right now?
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. It's something like you're having internet issues. I kept trying to
Yeah,
add you
I'm
back
having
in.
horrible tech issues
I think
with
Andrew's having internet
my
issues.
audio is coming in completely messed up and it keeps disconnecting me. It's very strange, and I don't think it's the
It could be targeting. I don't know. I have that issue a lot too with StreamYard. Um, but I just think this is great that you guys are doing this for James, all three of you. You know, I really looked up to James. I thought he was like a pillar for our community. And I just think it's amazing that you guys are doing this, you know, and I'll help you out. I'll help you guys out any way I can, you know, anything, you know, for real, you know. Yeah.
Well, we may have you as a guest interviewer. We're going to do a rotation. As many people who would like to come on and be an interviewer, not just an interviewee, we would, you know, be happy to have you participate. One other thing here on my outline, I'd like to mention that in James's final days, and there were some also questions on the internet of different people. Did he know he was dying? Yes, he did. All right, I want to make that clear. Yes, he did. Did he want to die? No. Were we doing all the steps that he wanted us to do to try and heal him? Yes, we did. James believed in natural healing. He believed in herbs. He believed in scalar waves. He believed in spiritual healings. And we went to a multitude of different healers. And just by taking him to the conference, there were a multitude of healers there. And I wanted to mention, I want to thank personally all the people who helped and tried to save James's life, all the people that gave their energy, their heart, their souls to try and save him. I have a few names here, but I know it's not everyone. I'm going to just name a few. There was Maziel Matthias. I believe she goes by Maziel Sky. There was Psychic Side Chicks. There was Charles Singer. He did a lot of work on James at the conference. Inez Vest and the Meat Suit podcast. Ida Farhat, Stephanie Chambliss, Adrian Espinoza, Sean Bond, Dr. Keith, Misty Dawn and her husband at their retreat, Sean Callahan, and USA MedBeds. So I know that there are quite a few other people that I didn't name. I need to get a list of everybody still who were at the conference as healers. And truly, once I get the list, I'm going to name everybody again because these people need to be recognized. They tried so hard to help him heal. And it's just that it was beyond the realm of possibility, because once James had been taken by some friends to the hospital in the beginning of October, and he had testing done. And I personally spoke with the endocrinologist that was treating him at the hospital. He gave me permission to speak to that doctor, and I did speak to her. And she told me that he had lost 30% function of his right ventricle, and he lost 30% function of his left ventricle in his heart. She told me that he had hyperthyroidism. She told me that he had cirrhosis of the liver. And she told me that the heart issue and the liver issue were secondary to Graves' disease, which is the hyperthyroidism. So shortly after we were at the conference, James told me that the doctors had called and wanted to do a liver transplant on him, and he didn't want to do that. So at that point, I contacted a very good physician that I know to review his hospital records. And she is a medical doctor, a physician who has been a Veterans Association physician for over 25 years. She specializes in organ transplants on soldiers. So she reviewed his records, and then she did, based upon his testing. And she did note that James left the hospital before they were able to finish all their testings and have a talk with him. But she took the reports and she took the lab work results and she put it into an equation, which is called a MELD score, MELD score. And that is a estimate prognosis. Okay, that gives you an estimated prognosis when there is liver failure. So she put in his lab work results, and it came back with 50% chance of 3 months or less to live. So James didn't want to tell his father because he's 82 years old. His father lost his mother 10 years prior, and he just didn't want to tell him. But when it came to about a month left to live, he did tell his father, and then he also concurrently went on to the internet and told the whole public. So you can see that on the internet. He did say, this is what the lab said, this is what the doctors told me. And so, yeah, he was fully aware. And the doctor that I'm speaking of, I'm not going to list her name because she did what's called a peer review. That's when you take the other doctor's notes and you look at it and you give an opinion. She did that as a personal favor to me and to James, and she's got to speak to Mr. James's father. So that was a personal favor. So I'm not going to list who she is, but she said also there was questions about whether he died naturally, whether this was something that came on with time. From his friends and family, from his friends, yes, he had symptoms of hyperthyroidism for quite some time. You could see him his hands shaking on the videos at different times. And I even asked James, I said, look, you had some symptoms. Why didn't you go to the doctor? He said, I didn't have health insurance, and he didn't use doctors. His whole life he didn't use doctors. He didn't like doctors. And that's something I want to also point out. That's his belief system. There are other super soldiers who also have that belief system, who just want to use natural cures, who want to use herbs and spiritual healings and scalar waves. That's not unusual for the super soldier community. So I wanted to point that out too. And that's his personal belief system, and he followed it his entire life till the day he died. He was an amazing, amazing man. He faced death straight in the face. He didn't cry. He didn't make a scene. He didn't do anything out of the ordinary. He was James Rink up until the day he died. He went out and danced at the conference. His stomach was bloated because he had liver failure. Yet he was dancing, and he was not in pain. There was somebody else on some podcast who doesn't know him at all, didn't spend any time with him in his final days, and was saying something, oh, he's in pain. He was not in any pain. I asked him all the time if he was in pain. And I let him know if at any time he wanted to go to the hospital, I was going to take him just like that. So I wanted to clarify some of those things. Also, the doctor said when she looked at his reports that he had an INR, which is a measure of clotting factors in the liver, that were off the charts. It was 5 times normal. She said it wouldn't even be possible unless the man ate a whole bag of warfarin. So there were some unusual results in his labs.
I got a question about that. Did you think he got hit with a direct energy weapon at the conference? Do you think, because there have been rumors about that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just kind of wanted to address that while we were going over the irregular lab results, because that could tie into it.
James was saying the entire time that he was getting hit with an energy weapon, with a hard energy weapon. He kept saying it, kept saying it, kept saying it. So according to James, yes.
Yeah, he did say that, and
you're
that's
upside down again, by the way.
We deduced, and that being James and I deduced that because, and even the doctor, that she didn't want to go on any record saying that there was an energy weapon that did this, but she said because of the onset of how he was just filled with fluid up to all the way up to near his stomach before he went in the hospital for all that testing, that because of the quick onset of that, she said usually there's edema around the ankles first, and that may be for like months or years, and then it proceeds up the legs. It's not that your legs are fine one day and then all of a sudden you have elephantitis almost up your legs and near your stomach. It just doesn't happen that quickly, that advanced. It was about the timing, she said, that would tend to support something like a directed energy weapon, which those of us who are in the Black projects know that type of technology does exist. All right. I also myself, during the conference, I was trying to go in and listen to some of the speakers, and I was falling asleep. And one of the other super soldiers there, his name is Steve, he was also falling asleep. We couldn't stay awake in that conference room. And we planned that conference with that conference room. We had it checked out. We were using like some oils to make it smell nice and make the atmosphere nice. There should have been nothing in there, or no way that there should have been any kind of energy put into that room to make you fall asleep. But it had that effect on me and another super soldier who also was at our 2023 Montauk tour. So, and I think the two of us were not the only ones. So there was unusual activity going on, no matter what anyone wants to say. All right, going on to, and the doctor who reviewed his chart also said, because James passed so quickly from the time that he had the testing done, that, in other words, he had a 50% chance of 3 months or less, because he actually did pass before the 3-month mark, that if anybody had taken him into the hospital to have any type of organ transplant, that it's very likely he would have passed on the table or shortly thereafter, after having tubes and whatnot in him, if he did survive. So James got to spend his final last months on Earth with his friends. He got to spend it at a conference. He got to go around to different healing modalities. He got to see everybody that he loves. So his last months on Earth were spent with his good friends, the people from the super soldier community, the people that he loves, the people who try to heal him. And then his last 5 days were with his family, and that's the way it should be. And by the way, his father also respected his wishes and did not take him to the hospital. He refused a hospital up until he could no longer speak, up until a couple days before he passed. So his family also followed the same protocol of allowing James to dictate his own treatment in the way his life and his death proceeded and how he wanted it. So, lastly, I did want to also state this. Mr. Rink did contact me today, and there is going to be a memorial service, a funeral service, but it is a private, small service that they're going to have, and it's for family. And they graciously did invite me as a friend, and I'm very thankful for that. It's going to be at a church, and it will be on March 28th, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. So what we're going to do is, Mr. Rink didn't get back to us yet to tell us whether or not there's going to be a link for the public, something that we can put online and view the funeral. But he is looking into it, so we're hopeful to get that information. And as soon as we do, we're going to put it on Super Soldier Talk 2. And we're going to also put it on Super Soldier Talk live stream on Facebook and also on the Telegram group. And so we'll we'll definitely get that out to the public as soon as we know.
And what date is that again?
Oh, the date is, it's coming up soon. It's March 28th, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. It's going to be at a small church in North Carolina. I do have the address, but we're not going to share that because it is a private family ceremony. But I do feel that hopefully we can get that link for everybody so that way the public can see the service.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah, Andrew, you're upside down. I just wanted to tell you.
Oh, he looks like right side
There.
up to me.
Yeah, he looks right side up to me too.
Now he's good.
No, I'm good. They're fucking with all of our technology.
Yeah, you're good.
My phone just glitched the hell out. I'm using a different.
All right, so that's it.
Should we let Andrew or Kimberly, or whichever, who wants to go for Andrew or Kimberly? Would you guys like to talk next?
Andrew.
Yeah, I'll talk about our intentions, and then we can get into the websites and everything else. So we are healing soul survivors. You know, James said the purpose of healing soul survivors, the reason he created it, to create a world where super soldier veterans, secret space program veterans can feel loved, accepted, and appreciated. Because right now that's not the case. So in a nutshell, that's our goal. On a bigger scale, if you want to go into details, we want full global disclosure of secret space programs. We want public acknowledgement of the existence of super soldiers and black projects, which are, you know, in all the subliminals everywhere. We are looking for a fully embodied healing process, which fully heals everything from beginning to end, every damage that was caused to people from the programs. I would like to explore the activation phenomenon, which we discovered in James's conference, the activation conference. There were multiple super soldiers who had activations at the conference. It was incredible. It's something brand new, and it could help with the healing process if we can activate ourselves. You know, James said less than 1% of people have memories from the programs. So if you multiply 1% times 100, you know, how many people do we have in the super soldier community? You know, some hundreds. Multiply that by 100. Imagine that many people on the planet that have these memories and have these testimonies. The world cannot ignore us anymore at that point. So that's another thing we're going to study and explore. So for Super Soldier Talk 2.0, we're going to continue James's style with interviews, but we are going to add a little spin to it. We're going to explore new modalities of reaching a broader audience because we want the entire world to be on par with us. We want everybody to be on the same page. Not, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, that's crazy. No. Oh, we need to do something about it. So we're going to have other things on the channel. We're going to have healings. Healing is going to be a huge focus for us. And we may have channelings and tarot readings. And it's really up to the audience. And we are open to the audience letting us know what kind of videos would you want? What kind of actions would you want? What should we do as a community? So this new channel is going to take a new approach, but we are going to continue interviews in the same style James was doing. And Catherine can talk about how people can sign up to potentially be interim interviewer. I can continue about the channel. We want to reach a broader audience. We're exploring new themes. We don't have the kind of time and financial freedom that James had. So, you know, I'm working and I'm starting a trade school for 6 months. It's going to be a 600-hour course. I have no time. We cannot match James's intensity. You know, he was incredible. I don't know how James did it, Robert. I don't know how you do it. You guys are amazing. You're just pumping it out constantly.
Sure.
But we don't have the time or resources to match him. So we're open to having other people be interviewers if anybody's interested. And I would like to make it clear, we're creating this channel, we're monetizing it, and we intend to profit from it. All the money from the profits, all the money from the donations, 100% is going into healing soul survivors. not into our projects, into Healing Soul Survivors. Healing Soul Survivors, the mission statement is PTSD awareness. It's in the name. We are healing soul survivors, right? We might have future events, more affordable gatherings. It doesn't have to be a conference. It could be more focused on healing and having a good time. Nature retreats, a dolphin adventure, which James talked about a lot. We may revisit Montauk, which I think would be a cool idea, but that's way down the line. You know, James put a lot of his own resources into making that trip happen. And yeah, we could potentially have more super soldier conferences, which is what we need, because a lot of these conferences do not focus on the secret space program super soldier aspect. We need to be focused on this if we're going to do anything to help ourselves. So that's our focus. If you want to see more of our intentions and James's original vision for Healing Soul Survivors, you can go to the website healingsoulsurvivors.org and you can see James's whole plans. He had a business degree. He had a whole vision of what he wanted to do with his corporation. So you can go to hss.org, healingsoulsurvivors.org, if you want to see more of our intentions. And I want to make it clear also, all old donation links are defunct. None of the money is going to us now. All those links are gone. If you want to donate, you can donate to our GoFundMe. You can find that on our Telegram page, on our Facebook page. Maybe we could post it here. And in the future, once we stabilize ourselves a little bit more, we won't be using GoFundMe. We will have direct donation links if anybody would like to help the cause. And we do appreciate the 2 people who donated $200. Thank you very much. That means a lot to us. I'm working for minimum wage and I can barely afford living. So that's very helpful. Thank you for your help. And once again, 100% of the profits go back to the community. We are here to help save the secret space program community because nobody else will, That's what James is doing, right? SuperSoldierTalk.com will have healing resources. And our website, our channel will be focused on healing a lot. So we're going to have a lot of healers on. We're gonna explore all the modalities of healing, everything that's available to us. We're gonna explore all of it, and we're gonna see what works. And you can go to our website. Once we establish all of that, we'll have a page, and Kimberly can actually talk more about that because I'm not sure how we're gonna set up that site yet. Kimberly?
Okay.
Kimberly?
Are you done, Andrew? Okay.
I have more later. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quick. So I would just like to say, first of all, thank you to everybody that donated to the cause, because you guys that did donate actually helped save all of the media that we're all talking about right now. Without the GoFundMe, we would not have control over supersoldiertalk.com, healingsoulsurvivors.org, and Super Soldier Con. And these, the 3 of us felt that these websites were extremely important to save. And so we're all happy to report that the corporation has control over the websites and a lot of the media, and that we are all, Catherine and Andrew and I, don't consider Healing Soul Survivors ours, or Super Soldier Talk, or Super Soldier Con. It's not ours. We are managing all of these, items because James did it all himself, just about. So it takes 3 of us to actually manage his empire. And so it was the focus of the 3 of us to, at the very minimum, was to make sure that all of the work that he did stayed online. And so we're happy to report that we've got through the most difficult part, and we do have control over most of the media, and it will stay online for everybody, and it's for the community. So I just want to, say thank you again for everybody that helped us out. It's been a tremendous journey, but we're happy to say that we're here, and we're going to be, doing this for quite some time. Actually, Healing Soul Survivors.
Wow.
And
I want to
Andrew,
Rob, I do have a question, Rob. I didn't recognize that bio of, is that the bio that you read for me, I didn't recognize it at all. I'm not even sure.
I'm sorry. I thought that's the one you gave me. I apologize.
Oh, no big deal.
One thing I wanted to add is that we had to actually start an entire new business banking checking account. So we will have that set up with a Zelle for future donations. We do not have the previous bank control yet. And again, these are things that are legalities that will come about and hopefully be rectified once the probate estate is opened by James's family. But we decided to start from scratch again because the corporation decided that we're not going to let everything die. We're not going to let the mission die. We're not going to let his vision die. And we're going to start from scratch. And I would ask that everybody who is a subscriber to Super Soldier Talk, the regular channel, please subscribe to Super Soldier Talk 2. We're going to be doing some great content. Once, as time goes on, we'll see how, if and when we get a control of the original Super Soldier Talk, how we can merge those two together. But right now, we need everybody possible to subscribe to our new Super Soldier Talk 2. And Andrew, I believe you had the link to that, right?
Right. So yeah, we are starting a new channel. We are having a new approach. It's going to continue with the interviews, but there will be new videos, new content, and our intention is to reach a broader audience. It's to reach people who may be new to this stuff, because we need more people on board on the world. And the link to the channel, right now you cannot find the channel by simply searching it, as we just created it and there's no videos on it yet. We just created the channel, but if you want to be an early subscriber, you can find it. You can just type in the link, youtube.com/Super Soldier Talk 2. You just add a 2 to the channel. And yeah, there's no videos yet. Videos coming soon.
I'm going to be
looking you up
actually-
now.
I'm actually going to be the first interviewee. Andrew's going to interview me, so I'm going to be numero uno as far as the interviewee. And then we're going to, switch it up. Hopefully Kimberly can do some of her beautiful work that she does and, speak on the channel next. But that's another thing. Nobody in this organization is forced to be a interviewer or an interviewee or to participate in podcasts. That's not one of the qualifications or requirements of being on the board of this organization, other than the president, because the president, whoever that is as we go on in time. And I say that because, one day, I might live to 1,000, but you never know, right? Or I may have to step down for one reason or another. And I want everybody to know I made $0 as a board member for the last 2 years with James. And I was totally fine with that. But let's just say that the corporation somehow generates $500 million. And let's say that we vote that I have a salary of $1 million, right? If I die tomorrow and my salary is $1 million, my family does not get that. I want to make sure that everybody understands what a corporation is and how corporations run. There was no money involved here. And James's work was not monetized. So there was no nefarious reasons to try and take control of his company or anything of that nature. This is a labor of love that he did that we're continuing. But let's just say, for example, that somewhere down the line, either myself or some president in the future, or there's any kind of money in the account, or that there's any kind of salary. once a president passes away or steps down, there's no more entitlement to any money in that corporation by a person or their family. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, and I want to make sure that nobody would ever say that my family is entitled to anything if I pass away tomorrow. All right, I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that when I put on the hat for Healing Soul Survivors, and I have many hats because I am on another LLC and I have my own nonprofit called Barbie Lives Matter that I need to work on and try and grow also. But when I put on the hat of Healing Soul Survivors, everything that I do, my time and my efforts are just a donation to this corporation and nothing more. There's nobody can ever make a claim on that. So I want to make, I know I'm kind of reiterating a lot of things, but I don't want to see the same kind of problems that we encountered with James's passing be passed on to Kimberly or Andrew or anybody else who would be a duly elected officer of this corporation.
This is great. I love what you're doing. Yeah. And yeah, guys, go subscribe to their channel now. Super Soldier Talk 2. It's at Super Soldier Talk 2. They put, the moderators put the link in the chat. And Andrew, did you have some more stuff you wanted to go over?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, for the channel, you can expect new videos coming in about two to 4 weeks. I've got a lot of people lined up. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on healing a lot, but obviously we are continuing interviews. We are continuing to put out information. We are continuing to do what James is doing so valiantly. And, but it's going to be a little bit different, so tune in, see what's up with that channel. It's going to be fun. You'll see.
Yeah.
I just want to, I want to remind people, we just finished 2025, and 2025 was the year of the snake in Chinese zodiac, in the Eastern zodiac, and that is a year of shedding and endings. And in 2025, James did a memorial in one of his conferences, and that's incredible. And on our website, hopefully we will also have a memorial page, because we need to remember everybody that has put everything on the line to basically save people. They're trying to save themselves, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say another person that died was Renetta Jones. I was really good friends with her, and I know James was. We were all supposed to do a tour together, me, Renetta, James, and it didn't end up going through. But it's sad. I'd love to see like their names, And then Brad Brody died too. I don't know if you knew him. Brad was the guy who saw the ETs in the clouds. He was, we lost a lot of people in 2025, 2026, it was sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I actually have a list of the people that we died, that we lost. So in 2025, start of the year, January 13th, we lost Sue Mount, who was actually a board member of Healing Soul Survivors. Health issues, died. Super soldier, she was. That year, we lost, according to Penny Bradley, there's Alan Prunty, Desmond Woodson, Kate Bennett. On top of that, Sue Mount, who was on HSS. And we lost Raynetta Jones, and we lost James. That's 6 super soldiers that died in that year. Straight.
Wow.
So this is really important. People are dying. People are getting killed, murdered, right? And in 2023, James had a stroke attempt. In 2024, Michael Sala was poisoned. I'm sure we all know who Michael Sala is. And Michael Sala is having heart issues, just like James was having. And 2 of the Facebook admins on his Facebook page, one of them is having heart issues. Another of them lost a family member due to heart issues. Thomas Alvin, who is another super soldier, also on this page and who James interviewed, also had heart issues in 2025. So that's a lot of people happening it's happening all at once. They're all having all these issues. And I take that as a sign. It seems like there's a clear attack. After James died, I noticed there was a lot of attacks on people, psychic and energetic. a lot of craziness started, specifically around me and people that knew James. I saw, and I just want to say, when a feral animal is cornered, that's a sign of defeat. It's a sign of defeat when they look, when you corner an animal, like a wild animal, they start lashing out and they'll do wild attacks that are unpredictable and intense, and it's at their full ferocity. That's exactly what's happening. It's a sign of defeat because they're acting uh, erratically. The attacks are out of fear and desperation. These people who are controlling these programs and controlling these murders of the secret space program assets, they know that they have lost, and they know they shall face justice, and that is inevitable. That is why these wild attacks are happening, but that should give us all motivation, because if we have proven that they are defeated by giving these insane attacks, then we should know that we are on the positive timeline, the timeline that James talked about, going into the 5D, where all this information is disclosed and super soldiers are acknowledged, and we get our, what's it called, reparations? Yes.
Yeah.
And according to a guy named Brad Johnson, who was on Michael Sala's show, he said we're in the 11th hour and their time is over. And so we just ended 2025, the year of the snake. We are entering 2026, the year of the fire horse, which is about passionate movement. Fire horse, passionate movement. It's a year of new beginnings, rapid change. We're also entering Aries right now on this day, March 21st. We're entering Aries, which is the beginning of the Western zodiac, which is also about new beginnings. So this is a great time to start new things for everybody. We are perfectly in the energy right now to begin new endeavors, whatever it is, anything that you've had on your mind. This is the time to do it. This is why we are doing this. If you know Lily Nova, she said right now new Christ consciousness and sovereignty energies are coming in. Priscilla, on your show, Rob, on one of the group chats you had Priscilla say, we must be coherent and cohesive. We activate each other. And you also had Angel Song, who was on the Montauk 2023 trip. She was also on one of your shows, and she said shifts happen when super soldiers come together as one. And so a really big point, the last thing I have written down here, just to my spiel here, is the most important thing is that we all focus on unity consciousness. We all focus on love, because there is way too much infighting in our community, and it's by design. Olivia James, Project Oblivion. We have to stop fighting each other and put our differences aside. And you know what? It's fine. You disagree. You don't like this person. You don't like that person. That's great. Awesome. Let's focus on what we do agree on. Because when we come together and we focus on what we do agree on, that's how we fix things. So I invite everybody in the Secret Space program, in the Super Soldier community, everybody to focus on what we agree on and just stop talking about what you don't agree on, okay? Because nobody cares, and we're not here for that. We're here to agree. We're here for unity. We're here to become a team and save ourselves from the worst human rights violation in human history. It's that important that we put our egos aside and come together in unity consciousness. So, that's going to be another message of the channel, is unity and love.
I agree. And Kimberly, like I apologize again about the bio. Did you want to tell people a little bit about yourself and your connection to James? Like, since you didn't talk that much, and I feel bad I got the bio wrong. I'm sorry about that. Like,
No. Just, you can go to my website, supersoldiercoalition.org. If you're a super soldier, if you think you're a targeted individual, if you think you're in the Black Projects, if you think you're a contactee, I'm here to help. So look me up, supersoldiercoalition.org. But I also have something else to say about all the stuff that Catherine and Andrew have said. And this is just small, but we are going to start using supersoldiertalk.com, that website, as a platform to communicate with everybody in the community. And so we're going to be using that as an anchor point. And the three of us also have decided that we are going to leave James' work as is. So we don't want to touch his website, his channels. So what we thought we would do is we would add a page on to Super Soldier Talk supersoldiertalk.com. And that page would be called Super Soldier Talk 2, which Catherine and Andrew are putting together right now. And so we will be utilizing Super Soldier 2, that page, as events, announcements, updates, the memorial page, healing, all of that. So as soon as we can afford to do the changes that we need to make, and they're coming, it's just going to take us some time. It's a financial situation and a time situation, but we want everybody to know that we are going to be making changes to supersoldiertalk.com, but not in the way that we would be changing the original. It'll be another section on the website.
Yeah, and you guys, I'll give you guys are all invited to come on. If you want to come on individually and keep promoting this, you can. You can talk about some of your own personal stuff. You guys, if you want to, it's up to you guys. And I'll have you on any time to promote this for sure. I want to help out any way I can. I really like James a lot. I really, I consider him a good friend.
Well, I wanted to also interject that Dr. Kusal Uch did do a channeling after James passed, and he channels a computer that's 6 million years in the future, which did take responsibility for his death. And I want to say that I'm personally fighting against artificial superintelligence. So maybe I can do an interview of Dr. Uch, and we can investigate some of his statements about that, and give him an opportunity to talk and tell me and the world exactly what that was all about.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Well, this was amazing, guys. Anything else before we finish up? And thank you guys so much for coming. This was awesome. Yeah.
Subscribe to Super Soldier Talk 2 if you
Right.
like James and want to see more of anything that's related to super soldiers and secret space programs. We are here to help the community just as James was. That's our intention. So if you help us, we'll help you.
And how can people donate to you guys? How can they donate to your organization now?
Well, we need to put the Zelle link up, because we do have an account that we opened up. And although we also do have that GoFundMe still available, GoFundMe does take a certain percentage of that. I know Andrew had that exact amount. But if we get a donation directly into the new corporate account, then there's no fees assessed. So we'll have to get that Zelle link, or just Zelle to I believe it's Healing Soul Survivors Inc. @gmail.com right now is the email to use for Zelle to go into our account.
So right. So we don't have anything set up except the GoFundMe at the moment. If you would like to donate right now, you can find our GoFundMe through our Facebook page, Super Soldier Talk live streams, and you can find the GoFundMe there. Otherwise, you can just give us a moment to finish setting up all of our accounts, and we will have a direct donation link where nobody takes any money from us. Because like I said, 100% of this money going right back into the community, into healing soul survivors, into literally, actually healing the soul survivors, right? So it's gonna be some time, and we will have those links on the channel too eventually. We'll have videos coming up. It's all in the works. It's coming soon.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and good luck with all this. And if you need me to help or anything, anything I can do to help. Yeah, thank you. And thank you everybody for tuning in.